Welcome in, muses. The season of lights hides shadows deeper than winter's night. Behind the carols and candles, Christmas carries a lineage of fear, punishment, and disappearance. Tonight, we rip back the tinsel to reveal the darker origins of traditions we still embrace today. Rituals born from warnings, not warmth. We'll walk with Knecht Ruprecht, the stern servant of St. Nicholas, who doled out lashes instead of gifts. We'll descend into the underworld with the Kallikantzari, goblin tricksters who claw their way up during the 12 days of Christmas. We'll meet the mischievous Yule Lads of Iceland, whose pranks once terrified children into obedience, and even Jack Frost, whose icy touch was less playful sprite than chilling specter. But folklore is not the only darkness of December. We'll confront the real horror of Ronald Gene Simmons, whose Christmas massacre shattered the illusion of holiday safety. And we'll revisit the haunting mystery of Dorothy Arnold, the New York socialite who vanished without a trace one winter's day, leaving behind only questions and whispers. This is not the Christmas you know. This is the Christmas that lingers in the shadows where myth, murder, and missing moments converge. Tighten those sleigh bells. And we're off. Welcome back, muses, to the place where we unwrap the grim and the grotesque hidden inside the things we love. I hope that everyone is having a great day. How are things up yonder, Amy?
Up yonder is white, Abby. We are having another snow day here in wild, wonderful West Virginia, so we are recording early.
Yeah, we won't complain. I have rain again and cold.
Ew.
So
Cool. That'll be coming my way soon.
yours just ends up being what I wish that ours would, but here we are, cold and damp.
I mean, you did move to the Devil's Ballsack. So
I did, but the cold
do be out
part
there.
doesn't fit in here is my problem, because
What now?
when it's hot and damp, like I've kind of gotten used to that, but the cold and damp part I don't like because I don't get snow. I get no results from it, nothing that I want. I just get it's rain and it's like 30 some degrees. So
You just get mud and
Yeah.
rain.
yeah,
Ew.
yeah.
I want it to be snowing and warm.
Oh, that would be great. I would like that.
How do we make that happen? I think that
Like,
at the North
in the
Pole where Santa lives,
60s.
it's snowing and warm.
I bet it is. Yeah. It has like a nice fall temperature.
Yes.
And the snow just literally never stops, but it also doesn't just keep piling up either. It just,
Yes. And it's never on the streets. It's never slick and icy.
no.
Mm-mm.
That fat bastard's got it made.
Yeah, he does.
Whatever. I don't like
Indeed.
it.
Not either.
It's fun. So,
Though.
I mean,
Your
kinda
face says no. Well, that's true.
it'll be fun. They say we're getting snow soon, so
Well, they shut down everything there.
They
We
shut
have to
down
teach them all
everything.
how to use four-wheel drive.
It's too cold usually. Yeah, but see, the Jeep is down, so now I can't do that.
Oh, shoot.
I know.
I don't know. We're just trained from a young age to drive vehicles in snow. Are you going to tell me a story?
I am going to tell you some stories. I'm going to tell you some things. And I'm going to have a little quick story time before we get started, just to kind of get the mood in the, holiday spirit.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. The air is cold, the lights are twinkling, and the eggnog is flowing. If you like eggnog, I do not. It's the season of joy, peace on earth, and goodwill toward men. But look closely at your twinkling tree. Listen closely to the bells, and you'll realize that much of what we call Christmas is actually a pagan mashup of ritual sacrifice, aggressive begging, and defense against child-eating demons.
The mood is definitely set. This is great.
I said joy.
I like it. I feel joyful and festive.
So today, we're taking a sledgehammer to the saccharine facade of the holidays, in case you couldn't tell. Forget the bright lights. We're stepping into the darkness. We're going to unmask your favorite festive things, from the gingerbread house to the nutcracker, and show you their true, deeply unsettling origins. Get ready, because the shadow of the season is far darker than you know. Are you ready?
Of course I'm ready.
Okay.
This feels like a dangerous sleigh ride, and I'm strapped in, sister.
Hold on. So let's start with things that we eat and symbols that we display, things that once spoke of death and torture. Take the humble mincemeat pie. We see it as a sweet, boozy dessert, but back in the Middle Ages, the Christmas pie was a massive, expensive status symbol, often containing real chopped meat, mutton, beef, sometimes tongue. That was a gag over there. The spices were a reminder of the gifts brought by the Magi. The high, thick, oblong crust wasn't called a crust. It was technically known as the coffin. This was a common medieval term for a pastry shell, but for the Christmas pie, the coffin was deliberately shaped like the manger where Jesus lay. To add to the macabre theater, some bakers would place a small dough effigy of the baby Jesus on top of the coffin's lid, which you would then have to break open to eat. You were literally eating from the manger, a grim reminder of life's temporary box.
That's very disturbing.
It really is.
Okay. I can't even.
I got nothing.
I knew that mincemeat pies used to actually contain meat.
Yeah. Didn't.
I think it just
that?
used to be a pot pie.
That's definitely what it was. Yeah. I did not know the baby Jesus part. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am disturbed. Please
Me
continue.
too. Next, look up. Why do we kiss under the mistletoe? The answer is rooted in tragedy and Norse mythology. The god, Balder, was the god of light, summer, and purity. He was prophesied to die, so his mother, Frigg, made every single thing in creation, plants, animals, stones, swear an oath not to harm her son. She overlooked the mistletoe, dismissing it as too young and harmless. The trickster god Loki exploited this oversight. He crafted a dart and an arrow from the overlooked plant and tricked Balder's blind brother into throwing it. The mistletoe pierced and killed the god of light. The white berries we see are sometimes said to represent the desperate tears of Frigg as she tried to bring him back. We are kissing under a symbol of divine fratricide and cosmic tragedy.
That's wild.
I know.
Okay.
It's interesting.
I know where you can get lots of fresh mistletoe.
No, I kind of want some.
Now you do.
Yeah.
I'll send you some.
Okay.
Let me send you some poison.
Yes, please. This is where we're at.
How would that be different from anything else we would send each other?
I was going to say, I mean, that's no different than pretty much anything else that we exchange back and forth. So,
true.
Yeah. The wreath on your door is a tidy circle of evergreens, a symbol of eternal life. But the word wreath itself is dark, and it comes from the Old English writhen, meaning to twist, or more tellingly, to writhe, as in pain. The Christian interpretation of the wreath, especially one made of sharp holly, was never meant to be comforting. It was a direct visual reference to the crown of thorns forced onto Jesus' head during his torture. The sharp leaves represented the thorns, the red berries, the drops of bloodshed during his torment. Your simple holiday decoration is a stylized symbol of agonizing crucifixion. Did you know that about wreaths?
Did I know that about wreaths?
Mm-hmm.
I did not. Makes sense that it would represent the piercing thorns.
Oh,
It
yes,
was
those
bad.
things are assholes.
Oh,
Yeah.
they sure are.
I don't really deal with holly very much because they're assholes.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's just,
They are not pleasant
it's like,
plants.
no, not at all.
The first part dealt with death. The next section deals with the things that snatch, lure, and consume the living, particularly children.
Okay. Because we should threaten the children with things going to snatch them at the Christmas time.
Well,
It's great.
that seems to be the trend. The gingerbread house is the quintessential holiday delight, but its popularity soared in the 1800s precisely because of the Brothers Grimm tale, Hansel and Gretel. And what is that story really about? Cannibalism and starvation. The tale is set against the backdrop of the Great Famine of 1315 to 1317, a period of mass starvation when desperate parents abandoned children in the woods because they couldn't feed them. The witch's house, made of food, was the ultimate cruel bait used to lure starving, abandoned children to their deaths and eventually to the witch's stew pot. Your holiday centerpiece is rooted in one of the most horrific realities of medieval life.
I had no idea. I thought that story was about telling your children not to wander off.
You really didn't know?
I had no idea.
I saw the look of horror in my peripherals. But I didn't realize it because you literally did not know that at all. Are you serious? I really thought you knew that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a fun story about what.
There.
No, they were dropped off.
Yeah.
That's awful. I do have a fun story about gingerbread houses.
Okay.
One time we still had the girls' gingerbread houses for like, I don't know, a couple of months. And we blew them up with firecrackers in Dad's yard.
That sounds like a good time.
It was.
See,
I
like the
pictures,
symbolism of that.
Okay.
Just saying.
Thanks for that lesson.
You're welcome. Here's also something pretty different. How does Santa get into your house? Through the chimney. It's charming, right? No, it's fucking terrifying. The chimney.
They have Santa keys now.
Oh.
For kids who don't have a chimney, they have a Santa key.
That's way.
How's he supposed to get it from the inside of your house? I don't know, but there's a key.
No, thank you.
No.
Ugh. The chimney was a well-established portal for non-human entities. In the 15th century, scholars theorized that witches used the chimneys to enter homes. More terrifyingly, in Celtic lore, there was a nursery bogey called the Bodatch. The Bodatch was said to sneak down chimneys to kidnap children, a truly vile ancestor to the jolly bearded man who uses the exact same entry point. Santa is simply a sanitized version of the spirits, some good, most bad, who claimed the hearth as their entrance and exit, which I knew that the witches or entities used the chimney also.
So, what a horrible thing to say. There's no way to block that. I mean, closing your chimney flue, but isn't that like dangerous?
Right.
If there's a fire going, like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how chimneys work. I don't have a fireplace.
We do, but I never used it or opened it.
In Louisiana?
Yeah.
For decorative purposes?
That's what it's for now, anyway.
There's probably critters living in there.
I don't know. I don't open it. I clean it
I don't
and
blame you.
put shit on the mantle.
So that's real.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole ass fireplace under that. I'll send you pictures of it. It's pretty.
I thought that it was just like a decoration or something.
No. Mm-mm. No. Couldn't tell you.
Zane has a working
Don't
fireplace. We don't use it. We've lit it like
The only
one
place I
time
think
in
I've
the
ever
12
used
years.
one. If you think your elf on a shelf is naughty, You haven't met the original elves of Iceland. Our modern toy-making sprites are based on the Yule Lads. These were originally 13 grotesque, ill-behaved troll sons. They didn't make toys. They were pranksters who would steal your milk and lick your spoons, slam your doors. So I'm not going to go too far into these guys because you're going to get a better view of them later. But their mother is the true nightmare. Kryla is a terrifying ogress who lives in the mountains. Her only holiday tradition is descending to the towns to kidnap naughty children and put them in her sack. Everyone has a fucking sack.
Well, what's up with the sacks, man?
It's a whole lot of sacks. I don't know.
I don't know either. Keep your
It's
sacks to
weird.
yourself.
I know. She then hauls them back to her cave to boil them alive and eat them in her stew. And if that wasn't enough, Kryla owns Yule Cat, also a gigantic, vicious feline that prowls the snowy countryside and eats anyone that hasn't received a new piece of clothing for Christmas. We learned about him last week. It was a brutal way to encourage productivity and preparation for the winter. So she not only was the mother of the Yule Lads, I didn't actually know that.
I vaguely recall that because I believe there was an episode of Grimm, which I assume would have been the holiday episode of it. And Kryla was in it, and some, at least, of the Yule Lads. So how did she acquire the Yule Lads? Did she just save those 13 and not eat them and let them go be the naughtiness? And then all the rest of the children she ate?
Actually questioned that.
Uh-huh.
Like years ago.
Okay.
Because
they were the naughtiest of the naughty, maybe.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because I didn't actually.
They wouldn't taste good.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. People just be gross.
They were ugly little shits too, so. But see, that's the thing. They didn't look human either.
I'm very confused.
Me too. I'm a find out. I'm a Maury Povich this bitch.
Loki kind of want to be Kryla, though, and own a giant Yule Cat and have a team of ornery boys that go around doing things.
Doing stupid shit just to irritate people.
I mean, I don't have any boys. I just have all these girls.
Yeah. So given the child eaters and chimney demons, it's no wonder so many of our festive traditions were actually defensive measures against the supernatural, such as tree decorating. The idea of bringing an evergreen tree inside during the darkest part of the year was a pagan ritual to ensure life returned. So the decorations we hang were used to ward off evil. Specifically, the shiny ornaments we hang today are descendants of witch balls. These were hollow, reflective glass spheres that were hung on trees or in windows. The belief was that the glass would attract any witch or malicious spirit, and when they looked inside, they would be trapped or confused by their own reflection or by the web-like filaments inside the sphere. Your beautiful Christmas baubles are literally prison cells for demons. I know.
Wow.
I make witch balls, which is pretty ironic.
Right? Interesting.
The irony.
Indeed. Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
All right.
Why don't they advertise them as that? Prison cells for demons for your Yule tree.
I don't know, but they should.
They are too. You could put those in an Etsy shop.
TM.
Huh?
TM.
Right. TM.
TM.
C with a circle around.
Yet another thing that we have claimed. Thank you very much. All right. So the Nutcracker is a beloved character, a handsome toy soldier. But in German folklore, they were serious sentries. The Nutcracker was given as a token of luck or protection for the home. They were specifically designed with fierce, prominent teeth and a stern or angry face because their supernatural function was to bare their teeth at evil spirits and scare them away from the household. The mechanical act of cracking a nut was a symbolic gesture of breaking the luck of the wicked. He wasn't a sweet wooden doll. He was a silent, grim-faced guard against the infernal. Didn't know
I
that either,
had
huh?
no idea.
I did not.
Have you ever actually used one of the
Nutcracker awning.
a nutcracker to
I
crack a
have
nut?
not. No.
No, because where I'm from, you use those silver squeezy things.
Yeah, we use metal implements
Mm-hmm.
or to crack
Yeah.
the nuts. I have never,
Mm.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think I've ever seen one that was actually like made to do that.
Are they still made to do that at all?
That's the other question, and now I kind of want to know because I want one.
Because 100%, if I tried to crack a nut in that one that we've got upstairs,
Oh,
it's
no,
going to
his
fall
one that
apart.
I've seen, the whole thing's just be in the shit can because they are not made for that now, for sure.
No,
So now I want to see if I can find one.
I mean, same.
Yeah, we'll be on
Scribble
the
that
hunt for
down.
those. Okay, so Christmas bells are musical, but original use was anything but. As mentioned, winter was a time of weakness when the unseen world was strongest. Throughout pre-Christian Europe, loud, incessant, and sometimes jarring noise was considered the best way to fight back. Ringing bells, often multiple large bells, was a form of sonic exorcism. The clamor was believed to confuse and drive out the evil spirits, demons, and dark entities that thrived in the cold and the dark. The jingle of a sleigh bell is a softened memory of the fierce rhythmic noise used to cleanse the area of supernatural menace. So bells were to basically just annoy the shit out of demons so they'd go away, I guess.
That's why people hang bells at their
Essentially.
doors.
Mhm.
Keep the evil coming in.
Yeah, I have bells
People
on.
still do that. Same.
Yeah. Yep. And I usually put them on other things also for that reason. It's kind of funny to me, though, because if you think about it in the aspect of sleigh bells, so
Sleigh bells
that's
ring, are you listening?
keeping the bad things from attacking Santa in the
Oh,
sleigh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say keep Krampus from attacking him, but wasn't he like in control of Krampus?
Yeah.
Can you tell us that? Yeah,
He was apparently
Or
like,
he is. He's the master.
yeah,
Big
of a
guy.
lot. All right. So next up, we have more of a basic thing, the Yule log, which of course was for warding off the dark. This connects back to the fear of the dark. The Yule log tradition dictates that a specific log, often decorated, must be kept burning for the duration of the Yule season, sometimes up to the 12 days. The fire's constant blaze wasn't just for comfort, it was a necessary shield. The ever burning light was seen as a way to trap and neutralize the malevolent forces released during the winter solstice. If the log went out, it spelled disaster, inviting catastrophe, famine, or even death upon the home. The ashes were treated like sacred relics, spread in gardens to ensure fertility, or kept indoors for protection. That one's pretty basic.
Yeah. But won't the decorations burn away?
They do.
Is that how you lit it?
Yeah, basically. And they would have like acorns and other sticks and like fruit and flowers and things like that also on them or with them. And it would actually release such.
Like a simmer pot.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cinnamon. They would put cinnamon on there also. Or in with it. I don't remember. I don't know how they actually did it as far as back then, those, because of course it requires a fireplace, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing with a fireplace. So, yeah.
For your Yule log.
Right. All right. So, finally, let's look at the dark social and historical realities that underscore our holiday cheer. So, now we're going to get into some more of the fun stuff. Caroling or aggressive begging. We call it caroling. Our ancestors called it wassailing. And it wasn't a polite neighborhood sing-along by any means. This sounds way more fun. Just want to point that out. Wassailing was a tradition where groups of lower-class people, often young men, drunk and rowdy, would descend upon the homes of the rich. Their singing was often accompanied by thinly veiled threats. Think about the lyric, "We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring some out here." It was a form of aggressive begging or social extortion, where the peasants demanded food, ale, and money, sometimes refusing to leave until they were appeased. They were essentially giving the wealthy an ultimatum: give us treats or we will cause a scene. And it worked. So,
And that song, you will hear it sung, Here We Come a Caroling. It was Here We Come a Wassailing.
yes, that also. Yeah, I would be down for some wassailing for sure.
Have you ever drank wassail?
I have once. I didn't like it.
I have never. I want to
Really?
make some.
You should. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
It's worth a once over.
I'd probably like it.
Probably so.
I drink Lapsang Souchong.
I still cannot say that, and I was getting ready to say you drink that weird tea. So
Do you want me to send you a bag of it?
I kind of do.
Okay. I'll stick it in your Christmas box.
Okay. All right, so next up we have Christmas stockings, or the dowry of shame. I know, that was my face also. St. Nicholas's act of throwing gold down the chimney and into the stockings of 3 impoverished sisters wasn't just charity, it was a desperate rescue. Which still sounds pretty sweet, right? But
I
no.
mean, I'm up for it. Throw me down some coinage in my
Right.
chimney.
Right. The family was facing ruin, and without dowries, the 3 daughters were facing a life of prostitution or servitude, a fate considered a source of profound shame. The stocking's origin is therefore a story of poverty, moral despair, and a single act of clandestine charity, saving 3 lives from the worst kind of fate. First of all, if you're going to throw gold down a chimney at people, you should pretty much do that for everybody, because let's be real. And here you go, Amy.
Oh, boy.
It is Good King Wenceslas. By the way, before I go further, I did find the song and listen to it. I have heard the song. Did not realize that's what it was. So the carol, Good King Wenceslas, tells a beautiful tale of a benevolent king braving the snow to help the poor. But the real Duke Wenceslas of Bohemia met a tragic end. Wenceslas was a pious ruler, which angered the Bohemian nobility and his younger brother, Boleslav the Cruel. In 935, Boleslav invited Wenceslas to a feast. The next morning, as Wenceslas was on his way to church, Boleslav and his conspirators attacked him. Wenceslas was brutally hacked to death right at the church door. The carol is a beautiful fiction built upon a foundation of political intrigue and unforgivable fratricide. So he was killed by his brother because he was too nice.
Yeah, because,
Also, just as an add-on, his brother did go on to become the actual king, even though neither one of them were kings at the time. And he reigned for years and years and years. So there's that.
And was cruel.
Yes, very much so. Finally, the very date of December 25th has dark origins. The early church chose this date to coincide with the popular Roman festival Saturnalia. The festival was a week of utter chaos dedicated to the god Saturn. It was marked by lawlessness, excessive drinking, gambling, and a total inversion of social order. Slaves wore the clothing of their masters and were served by them. It was a week-long party of hedonistic excess. And in older, darker rituals tied to Saturn, the festivities were sometimes culminated by human sacrifice to appease the god, who famously devoured his own children. So this is where we get the date for Christmas.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's break that down just for a second.
Just the whole thing, because everything about that is not. Go ahead.
Everything about that calls upon all of the Christmas folklore characters to show up and shut it down. The slaves are going to get eaten because their clothing is not new by the Yule Cat.
Right.
All of the lawlessness and debauchery going on.
Yeah. But on this day, the slaves were wearing the clothing of their masters and were served by them. So who was getting eaten? The masters.
Oh, wait.
During this,
What were the masters wearing?
I'm guessing the slaves' clothes.
Does that count as new clothes?
Mm,
It's kind of like Dobby has a
that's
sock.
a good question. Dobby is a free elf. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a good point. But the slaves wouldn't have been because they got new clothes, like nice new clothes. If you're thinking about it in that way, so that would be tied in, of course. The drinking and gambling and all of that would go back to wassailing and I'm sure several other things that we associate with other parts of Christmas.
I feel like the Yule Lads are involved in all that mess.
Right. And then, of course, the festivities sometimes culminated by human sacrifice to appease the god who famously devoured his own children. That sounds like lots of things that we've discussed over the last couple of episodes.
Yeah. The Yule Lads.
Yeah.
I don't forgot her name. Kryla.
Kryla, yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. So,
Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome. Very welcome. So there you have it. The perfect sanitized holiday season we strive for is nothing but a glittering veneer over a foundation of child-eating demons, murder weapons, medieval poverty, fratricide, and pagan exorcism rituals. Next time you hear a bell ring, remember that it's meant to ward off spirits. Next time you see a nutcracker, remember he's baring his teeth at the darkness for a reason. And next time you eat a mincemeat pie, not that anybody really eats that anymore, remember that you're breaking the crust of a coffin. It's a powerful reminder that the festive season isn't just about celebrating light. It's about surviving the deepest, darkest points of the year. Yeah.
I don't know. It deserves applause.
That one, actually, there was a lot of stuff in there that I didn't know, which is weird because, like, I feel like I know a lot of shit with that kind of stuff. It was little things that I was like, wait, what?
My flappers are still gasted over the gingerbread houses.
That kind of made my whole day because I knew that one.
I did not.
Yeah.
So fun.
I know,
Happy
right?
holidays from Macabre.Musings.
Yeah.
I hope
I'm
now you know why
excited.
we call it that.
I'm excited
Yeah,
for
we need to.
next episode. That's going to be a fun one.
I'm excited for the next episode because of something else.
We have treats for you guys for the next. And we'll go ahead and say that now. Episode 16, which is recorded,
No, it's recorded on the 16th.
Released on the 21st. Aside from the dates that kind of correlates with, which is really cool. That is going to be our Christmas episode before I forget. So
it releases on winter solstice, correct?
Yes, it starts on the first day of Yule, and it's recorded on the 16th, and it's episode 16. So we had two cool date things. But yeah, and that will be the last one of the year.
Yeah.
All right. So your turn.
You said that, so
I don't know how to transition into this one
from bad to worse.
I mean,
this is not fun.
Leave you to it. I don't know much about this case. I do remember it, like as far as I've heard about it, but I don't remember any details whatsoever. So there's that. Right,
and I'm sure I left out a whole bunch of details because you know how I'd be. I will not be bringing you a happy holidays story. I am going to be telling you about Ronald Gene Simmons, who was born on Monday, July 15th, 1940, in Chicago, Illinois, to William and Loretta Simmons. William died of a stroke in 1943 when Ronald was just 3 years old. Within a year, Loretta remarried to William D. Griffin, a civil engineer in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, leading to frequent relocations for the family across Arkansas. Ronald struggled in school and dropped out on September 15, 1957, before finishing high school. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy, where he served until 1962. In 1963, he enlisted in the U.S. Air Force, where he served until 1979, rising to Master Sergeant. Simmons' military awards included the Bronze Star Medal, Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross, and an Air Force ribbon for excellent marksmanship. On July 9th, 1960, Ronald married Barsabe Rebecca Ulibarri, who went by Becky, in Raton, Mexico. Becky was the daughter of Manuel Ulibarri and Lydia Marie Barnum. Ronald and Becky had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters. Sheila Renee, Ronald Gene Jr., William Henry, Loretta, Eddie Wayne, Marion, and Rebecca. In the early 1980s, Simmons moved his family to a remote property in Dover, which is in Pope County, Arkansas, living in isolation in a makeshift home without plumbing. This move into seclusion echoed the instability of his youth, but this time it was under his own rigid control. Ronald was reported to be abusive and controlling, with allegations of incest and sexual abuse against one of his daughters. Charges were filed against Simmons in 1981 after the daughter confided to a school counselor that she was pregnant by her father, but it was at this time that he moved his family into seclusion before the case could proceed. He did father a child with his daughter Sheila. The child was named Sylvia Gale, and Sheila later married Dennis Raymond McNulty, who raised Sylvia as his own. The exposure of the incest and abuse in 1981 appears to have been the catalyst for the horrible events that I'm about to get into, as well as the move itself. From December 22nd to December 28th, 1987, Simmons killed 16 people and injured 4 others. 14 of the murder victims were members of his own family. On December 22nd, as his family was preparing their isolated home for a Christmas gathering that was to take place on the 26th, the killings began. I think I have this in order. Becky, his wife, who was 46, was shot. His son, Ronald Gene Jr., was 26 and was shot. Barbara, his 3-year-old granddaughter, was strangled. Loretta, his 17-year-old daughter, was strangled. Eddie, his 14-year-old son, was strangled. Marion, his 11-year-old daughter, was strangled. Rebecca, his 8-year-old daughter, was strangled. He used a handgun for Becky and Ronald Jr. and then strangled the younger children with his hands or a fish stringer. He placed the bodies in neat rows in the yard, covering them with their coats and soil. On December 26th, Simmons killed each family member as they arrived for the Christmas visits. First was his son, William, who went by Billy, who was 22. He was shot. Renata Simmons, who was 21, and his daughter-in-law was strangled. Dennis McNulty, who was 23, and his son-in-law was shot. Sheila Renee Simmons McNulty was 23. That was his daughter. He strangled her and then strangled Sylvia, who was 21 months old, who was being raised as his granddaughter, but was actually his child. Michael McNulty, who was an infant, and his grandson was strangled. Their bodies were placed in the house and covered with coats, blankets, or sheets. You okay over there?
Not really, no. Wow, that's a lot of people.
It really is. And I just wonder, I mean, he had to have done it one at a time as they walked through the doors. Like,
yeah.
Well, he would shoot the men who could probably have fought back.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's madness. On December 28th, Simmons continued his murderous rampage in various former workplaces throughout Russellville, Arkansas. The spree lasted about 45 minutes. The victims this time were Kathy Kendrick, who was the secretary at a law firm who he shot and killed, Joyce Butts, the office manager at Woodline Motor Freight, who he shot and killed. He also injured 4 others at various workplaces, an oil company, a convenience store, and at Woodline Motor Freight. His final stop was at Woodline Motor Freight. He entered the office armed with a handgun, and instead of continuing his rampage, he calmly placed the weapon on a desk. He told the secretary, "I've gotten everybody who wanted to hurt me." The police were called and quickly arrived. He did not resist. He did not attempt to escape and was taken into custody without incident. Go ahead.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I can't make words.
I don't know.
It's the younger kids and things for me, if that's where he was going with that. But at the same time, if this was a who wants to hurt me situation, he likely knew that he wasn't going to be around once this was all said and done for those children. So,
Right. This was, clearly a mental health issue. I wondered if anything happened to him as a child.
I don't know.
Not sure. That's not always the case. Other
Right.
than the moving, he wasn't super great in school.
Right. Which,
And then his stepdad moved them to someplace that was kind of isolated. And then after he gets called out for abusing his daughter and fathering a child.
that's kind of where my head went first.
Right. So he moves them. Here's the thing. She was pregnant when she accused her father, or when she admitted that she was pregnant by her father.
Right.
That child was 21 months old.
Right.
There's no way people didn't know where they were.
No.
What do you mean the case didn't proceed? Okay, so for his first trial in 1988, he was convicted of 14 counts of capital murder for killing his wife, children, and grandchildren. The jury sentenced him to death by lethal injection. At his second trial in 1989, he was convicted of 2 additional counts of capital murder for the workplace killings in Russellville. He received another death sentence plus several additional sentences for attempted murders and assaults. He waived all his appeals, insisting that execution was the only appropriate punishment. So he wanted to die. He told the court, "To those who oppose the death penalty, in my particular case, anything short of death would be cruel and unusual punishment."
For him.
Right. So, I don't know, maybe letting him live a little longer with what he did.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. But I don't know. I'm just one of those people that are like, oh, God, go ahead and kill me. Go ahead and kill me. I'm like, no. No, because there's a reason that you want that. So you just got to wait it out for a little while.
Ronald Gene Simmons died by lethal injection on June 25th, 1990, at the Cummins Unit in Arkansas. He was the first person executed in Arkansas since 1964. This case is still considered the largest family mass murder in U.S. history. The Encyclopedia of Arkansas notes Simmons' spree as the worst crime involving one family in the history of the country.
I can imagine. That was so many people.
It was.
I lost track. Like, I was trying to keep track, and now I don't know.
14 members of his own family.
Yeah, 14 family, 4 others. Oh,
someone at a convenience store.
4 injured. Yeah.
Yeah, the one secretary. So I wondered if he started there and circled back. Because the secretary, one secretary that he killed was a secretary from there. Or
yeah.
Did she work somewhere different and he killed her somewhere else? I don't know. I didn't look into all of that. His wife, all of his children, his grandchildren.
Which was already a lot of children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just when you were naming them off, I was like, oh, God. Because I already knew in my head what was about to happen. It's a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know, right?
Do you have anything fun to share with the class?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I'm glad.
Want to move forward now?
I do. Let's do that.
Me too. And you guys can laugh at me because I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. The beginning, the whole probably 10 minutes of this episode is me trying to pre-game some of these names. And while I think I have a grasp of a few of them, as I have practiced this for like 3 days, it's certain that not all of them will be good. So just bear with me.
You got this.
They're fun.
I am looking at the first line of your notes that has pronunciations and nah.
Yeah, that's the 2
I can't help you
pretty well.
Best wishes.
Okay, so pull your chair closer to the fire. Wrap the blanket tight. You feel safe here, don't you? She said no. Surrounded by twinkling lights, the smell of cinnamon and pine, the promise of bright packages tied with bows. You think you know Christmas. You think it's a chubby man in velvet, a babe in a manger, and a season of peace and goodwill. But the Midwinter Festival is older than velvet suits. It is older than mangers. It was born in the deepest valleys of human fear. In the months when the sun abandons us and the dark things of the world grow bold, we try to cover the darkness with tinsel. We try to drown out the scratching at the door with carols. But the old stories, remember, the old shadows are still long. Today, we aren't talking about the jolly gift givers. Today, we speak the names of the others. The enforcers, the destroyers, the things that don't want cookies and milk. They want you. Let's begin with the shadow of the saint. In Germany, the children await St. Nicholas on the 6th of December. He is a figure of golden light and benevolence. But light cannot exist without casting a shadow. And Nicholas casts a long, ragged shadow. And his name is Knecht Ruprecht, or farmhand Rupert. Forget the cheerful elves of the North Pole. Farmhand Rupert is what a helper looked like in the medieval mind. He is a wild thing brought to heel. He does not wear red. He wears a coarse brown monk's robe, or sometimes skins turned inside out, still smelling of blood and wet fur. His face is blackened, some say with soot from the chimneys he descends. Others say it is the filth of the hell he was dragged from. Why does a saint need a monster? Because, my friends, kindness is rarely enough to keep humanity in line. Nicholas offers the carrot. Rupert holds the stick. Quite literally, in one gnarled hand, Rupert carries a root, a bundle of birch switches, as they do, everybody, I guess.
Birch must be something to get switched with.
I know.
I don't know if I ever had to take a birch twig.
I don't think I ever grabbed one of those suckers.
Mm.
It is not ceremonial. It is for thrashing the disobedience out of children who refuse to pray, who refuse to listen. The switch is the warning. The true terror is what he carries over his shoulder and drags behind him in the snow. It's a sack, of course, because who is any of these people without a sack and a switch? It is seemingly bottomless, and when Rupert enters a home, the air grows cold. He doesn't ask if you've been good. He smells the sin on you. He demands you perform, recite a prayer, sing a hymn, stumble, and his eyes shining white and his blackened face narrow. If you are truly wicked, the switch is forgotten. You are grabbed by the ankles. You are stuffed into the sack alongside other silent, terrified shapes. Where does he take them? Well, the stories vary. Some say he takes them to the deep woods to be eaten by wolves. Some say he tosses the sack into an icy river. Others, the darker ones, that's where we would fall, say that he takes them back to where he came from, a place where the fires are much hotter than the ones in your hearth.
No chance that either of us are getting tossed in that sack and being quiet about it.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to run our mouths the whole time. And if we're together, we are definitely making fun of him.
Oh, no, we're going to laugh our asses off. Yeah.
Did you see his gnarled hand? When he switched me, I just asked him to rub.
Like, what do you
say? Well, we can't be kidnapped together.
They would toss our asses right out the side. Just get
they might change their evil ways.
Probably. We would be like more of a warning sign for them. So,
yeah. I don't think I have it in me not to fight back.
I don't either. In whatever way I may feel like works at the time. Maybe my mouth and maybe my feet or my hands, but something's
right.
I'm either going to hurt you physically or hurt your damn feelings.
Okay.
All right. Ruprecht, or Rupert, is the reminder that the season of giving is conditional. He is the walking nightmare that ensures you earn the dream. Rupert is a singular entity, a focused terror, But what happens when the terror is a legion? What happens when the threat isn't against your body, but against reality itself? We travel southeast now to Greece and down. Deep, deep down. To the very center of the earth. There lies the world tree. The magnificent, unseen axis that holds up the crust of our planet. This supports humanity and all of our civilizations. And there, gnawing at its roots, are the Kallikantzari. These aren't cute little goblins. They are abominations. Small, black, hairy, with eyes that burn like coals and breath that smells of rotting meat. Some have limbs of different sizes. Others are cyclopean. All are driven by a singular, mindless rage against existence. All year long, that is what you hear. Scratching, thousands of tiny, jagged saws cutting into the world tree. Their goal is simple. Bring it crashing down. All of it. Annihilate the surface world. By the winter solstice, the tree is hanging on by a thread. It is groaning under the weight of the world. Kallikantzari are screeching in anticipation of the final snap. But then Christmas arrives, the birth of the light, and this holy event drives them upward, repels them from the deep earth like fleeing water. They burst into the surface world for the 12 days of Christmas. And they are furious. Why? Because they couldn't finish the job again. They roam the countryside at night in howling packs. They speak with the lisping, spittle-flecked mockery of human speech. They are profoundly stupid, but infinitely malicious. They will spoil your food, befoul your water, terrorize your livestock, and if they catch you alone on a dark road, they will demand you dance until your heart explodes. That wouldn't take a long time, to be fair, for me.
I mean,
I'm a goner.
Same, but for different reasons.
Oh,
Your heart is a little dysfunctional, and mine would just
a little bit,
too
yeah.
fat.
So, the only way to keep them out is to keep a fire burning. They fear the fire, and you must lower a colander or sieve into your well because they are stupid. They will try to count every hole. 1, 2, 3. They lose count over and over until the sun rises and burns their skin. For 12 nights, humanity holds its breath while these monsters rampage. And when the epiphany comes on January 6th, they are sucked back down to the center of the earth. They rush back to the world tree to finish the job. But in their absence, the great tree has healed itself and is whole again. The howling you hear deep in the earth is their despair, and the scratching begins anew for another year. One day, they might finish before Christmas comes.
I don't like that.
Those guys.
Right?
We move north now to Iceland, a land of volcanic fire and glacial ice, where the winter sun barely kisses the horizon before vanishing again. The darkness here is profound, and things breed in that darkness. In the mountains lives an ogress named Kryla. She is hideous beyond measure, with hooves for feet and 15 tails, each holding 100 sacks of misery. She has the most sacks.
She does indeed.
Right? Kryla has an appetite that cannot be sated with normal food. She craves the flesh of naughty children. Every winter, she descends from the peaks with her great cauldron, listening at windows for the sound of crying or disobedience, ready to snatch a meal. But Kryla is old, and the mountains are steep. So now she sends her sons. They are the Yule or the Yule Lads, whose names I'm going to probably butcher, and I'm only going to call a few of them by their actual names because it hurts me to try to say some of them. So there are 13 of them. As I said, I've only got a few mentioned in the actual story. After the story, I will tell you who they are and what they do. In modern times, people pretend they are mischievous Santas leaving gifts in shoes, but the Icelanders remember what they were before they were tamed. They were trolls, deformed, starving scavengers born of a cannibal mother. They don't bring a gift, they take them. They arrive one by one on the 13 nights before Christmas. They are the embodiment of winter survival anxiety. If you fear that your supplies won't last the dark months, yeah, that's them. Think of them as a home invasion in 13 parts. The first ones to arrive are gaunt and desperate. Stekustor, or sheep coat clod, comes first. He has stiff peg legs, clattering around your barn, tormenting the sheep, trying to suckle milk from the ewes because he is starving. And then comes Galvifur, or doorway sniffer. He has a gigantic nose, hypersensitive to the smell of baking holiday bread. He lurks in the entryway, sniffing loudly in the dark, waiting for you to turn your back so he can steal your food. And then there's this guy, Guga Gayer, or window peeper.
Window peeper, not window licker.
Yes, window peeper. Right. Imagine sitting in your warm living room feeling watched. You turn to the dark window, and pressed against its glass is a hideous, distorted face, eyes wide, staring hungrily at all of your possessions and perhaps at your children. They are disgusting little creatures. Some more. Potaskyful, or pot scraper, ask a slakier, or bowl licker. But they will break into your kitchen and put their foul tongues on every utensil you own, desperate for a calorie of grease. They continue until Christmas Eve, a slow escalation of intrusion and filth. They are the reminders that in the deep north, civilization is a fragile shell and the hungry wilderness is already inside your house. Ruprecht wants to punish you. Kallikantzari want to destroy the world. The Yule Lads want to steal your sustenance. They are monsters of passion and hunger, survival. But there is one figure who is far colder because he feels absolutely nothing at all. You know him as Jack Frost, ma'am.
It just never even occurred to me that you would be talking about Jack Frost.
Oh, no.
I just
Frost. Well, the modern
thought that
world.
was made up by the cartoon company.
No. Well, the version we know was. So the modern world has painted him as a sprightly teenager in a blue hoodie, or a mischievous elf nipping your nose. A harmless spirit of winter fun. Jack Frost is not a person. He is a primordial elemental force. He is the personification of entropy, of the universe seeking absolute zero. He is older than any god humanity has ever worshipped. When you see those beautiful fern-like patterns of ice on your window pane in the morning, we call it his art. But it is his mark. It is the creeping infection of the freeze, testing the barriers of your warmth. The phrase Jack Frost nipping at your nose, that isn't a playful pinch. That is the beginning of frostbite. That is your body's cells crystallizing, dying, turning black and gangrenous. That is Jack's kiss. He is the silent companion of those lost travelers in the snow. He doesn't scream or chase. He whispers. He tells you that you look tired. He tells you that the snow looks soft as down, warm as a blanket. He urges you to just close your eyes for just a moment. Just sleep.
Is he the reason sometimes people feel so warm they have to take off their clothes?
Yeah. He is the pleasant numbness that replaces the pain of freezing, the delirium that makes dying feel like falling into a warm bath. Jack Frost doesn't hate you. He doesn't even know you exist. You are just a temporary heat source to be extinguished, a brief candle he will pinch out without a second thought, leaving only a frozen statue in the drift. He is the ultimate darkness of the season, the profound crystalline apathy of a universe that is slowly freezing to death. Didn't know that, huh?
I honestly thought that was just like a cartoon that people made up because of cold. I don't know what I thought, but it wasn't that.
No, he's not what I thought either.
That's
kind of wild.
Yeah, it is.
That took a turn. A hard left one.
Meanwhile, my toes are freezing to death in my Crocs. Bambi, you look a little smurfy.
I always do. I'm just like,
I know. Now, what's
I like
her name?
black and gray. Black and gray.
Yeah,
Mostly gray.
she's the other female Smurf that was black and gray, the little goth Smurf.
Oh,
What was her name? It's you, but she has black hair.
Think about her. I forgot
not
about
black
her.
hair.
No.
Gargamel created her, right? I know because he made Smurfette. Vexy.
Yes, that's right.
That fits you.
Yeah. Yeah, that works. I forgot about her.
We'll call you Hexy Smurf.
All right. Suits me just fine.
Okay.
All right, so before I close this out, I'm going to tell you the names of the Yule Lads, not their government mother-given names, but the ones we gave them, because no, you heard enough. So as I said, there's the sheepcoat clod, which harasses sheep. There is Gullygawk, which steals the milk from the cow sheds. There is Stubby, who steals pans to eat all the crust. There is Spoon Licker, who licks the spoons. Pot Scraper, which licks the pots clean, obviously. Of course, the Bowl Licker steals bowls to lick them clean. We've got Door Slammer, who slams doors. Skyer Gobbler eats skyer or yogurt. Sausage Swiper, who obviously wants your sausages. Window Peeper, who I've mentioned already, peeks in windows. Then we have Doorway Sniffer, who sniffs for leaf bread. So I didn't go over what he was technically looking for, but he is looking for a specific kind of bread, which is why he's sniffing your door. Meat Hook, he's after your meat. And last but not least, Candle Beggar wants to steal your candles. I don't know why, because the rest of these fellas need food. That one just, I guess, wants mood lighting. I don't know. So, anywho, those are all 13 of them.
So the one that wants the candles,
yeah,
so you can't have light anymore because bad things happen.
Yes, that's true. And I mean, like I said, I like to joke that they were just there to just get on your damn nerves, because like how fucking annoying is all of that. But to be fair, they are there to serve a purpose. So,
but imagine being
convenience you.
Right. But imagine being a child who could just blame it on these things. Who swiped the breakfast sausages? It was Sausage Swiper.
Right.
Who drank my Coke? It was Lainey.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
What fun.
I know. I like that.
To be their babysitter.
They're fun.
I think they're fun.
Mean, they're mischievous.
They're Dennis the Menace on crack.
They really are. I mean, like I said, nothing that I read as far as what they actually do or whatever is like, gasp. Oh no, don't clean my dishes, you little shit.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Do I want their disgusting little tongues on all my shit? No. But like,
no.
But yeah, no, I don't have a problem with them essentially cleaning my house while they're
Right.
giggling and I'm sure being all proud of themselves. While old mom's
Sure.
stuck up on the mountain because she old. She can't get down there to swipe my kids.
She
So
got baggage.
the fire is dying down, and the shadows in the corners of the rooms are stretching out, reaching toward your chair. The velvet Santas and the red-nosed reindeer are fine for the daylight hours. They are good toys to distract the children. But now it is night, the longest nights of the year. Listen to the wind. Is it just the wind? Or is it the jingling of Ruprecht's chains? Is it the scratching of saws deep beneath your floorboards? Is it the starving trolls sniffing under the crack under your door? Or is it just the silence and the creeping cold waiting for you to close your eyes? Keep your fires lit, my friends, and pray for dawn. Good luck.
That was ominous.
I know.
I am going to bring it down a little bit, not as much as I normally, well, not as much as I brought it down with that last story. Going to talk to you about Dorothy Harriet Camille Arnold, who was a wealthy 25-year-old New York socialite and aspiring writer who disappeared on December 12th, 1910 in Manhattan. Her case is one of America's oldest and most baffling missing person cases. Despite massive publicity and extensive investigation, no trace of her was ever found, and her fate remains unknown. Born July 1st, 1885, in New York City, to Francis Rose Arnold, a wealthy perfume importer, and his wife, Mary Martha Parks Arnold, née Samuels, part of an affluent Manhattan household at 108 East 79th Street. She was a 1905 graduate of Bryn Mawr College, which is a private women's liberal arts college in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, founded in 1885, the year Dorothy was born. Dorothy had studied literature and language. She aspired to become a writer. This career path was not fully supported by her wealthy family. While Dorothy did attempt to establish herself as a writer, several of her short stories had been rejected by magazines. On the morning of Monday, December 12, 1910, Dorothy left her family home on East 79th Street. She told her mother she was going shopping for a new evening gown. She was dressed in a navy blue serge suit, which is a fine wool fabric, with a high-neck white lace jabot, which is the Victorian-style ruffled collar piece, a long blue coat tailored to match her suit, a small black velvet hat trimmed in blue with a lapis lazuli pin and 2 silk roses, lapis lazuli earrings, which matched the pin on her hat, tan gloves, which is typical of fashionable winter gear, and she carried a large black fox fur muff, used both for warmth and to carry her personal items. Inside, she kept her allowance money, which was about $25, and in today's money would be about $850, and also leftover funds from a recent bank withdrawal. So she is absolutely rocking her outfit.
She sounds so awesome.
She sounds gorgeous. And I looked up pictures of her. What a cutie. Cutie is not the word. She was lovely. She was beautiful. She was...
Yeah, she was.
Mm-hmm. And you know I love a good description of what were they last seen wearing. And hello.
Right? I know.
Hello.
Yeah.
Like, just down to, like, the amount of money she was probably carrying.
Right.
The description of that outfit. Yes, please. And some lapis lazuli. Hello.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Here is a timeline of Dorothy's movements the day she disappeared. She went to Park and Tilford, which was an upscale confectioner on Fifth Avenue, where she purchased chocolates. I looked to see if that was still there, and apparently at some point it turned into a place that sold alcoholic beverages, maybe?
Oh.
But Park and Tilford itself does not appear to be there. If I am wrong, please chime in. Somewhere on Fifth Avenue. Brentano's bookstore on Fifth Avenue and 27th Street, where she bought a book called Engaged Girls Sketches by Emily Calvin Blake. Around midday, she encountered Gladys King, a college acquaintance, and that was outside of Brentano's. Brentanos. I'm not sure which way to say that. Dorothy mentioned to Gladys that she'd be walking home through Central Park. So I assume that they met as Dorothy was exiting and perhaps Gladys was coming in, or they just passed on the street.
Yeah.
But this would be Dorothy's last confirmed sighting. Dorothy disappeared in broad daylight, which drives me bonkers. Just the whole idea of disappearing completely.
Yeah, definitely. But broad daylight that's a whole extra tier of just crazy to me.
On what I'm sure is a busy street. It's the 12th of December. There is the hustle and bustle of Christmas shopping.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And she was looking fine, too. So it's not like people weren't noticing this.
She would have been noticed, I'm sure.
On the evening of December 12th, 1910, when Dorothy failed to return home, her family assumed she was staying with friends. The next day, concern grew, but the Arnolds still did not notify the police. They believed publicity would damage their social standing and Dorothy's reputation. Francis Arnold, her father, contacted Dorothy's friends and acquaintances discreetly. Within days, the family hired the Pinkerton Detective Agency to search for her. Investigators checked hospitals, morgues, and hotels in New York and surrounding areas. No trace was found. The Arnolds kept the matter private for nearly a month. In January of 1911, after all private efforts failed, Francis Arnold finally informed the police and allowed the press to report the case. Once revealed, Dorothy's disappearance became front-page news across the United States, sparking widespread speculation. The NYPD investigated and still no evidence of foul play or voluntary flight was found. Now let's get back to that speculation. Here are the following theories surrounding her disappearance. Kidnapping or murder. People suggested that she was abducted or attacked en route home. Suicide. Repeated literary rejections and personal disappointments led to speculation of self-harm. Romantic elopement. Rumored involvement with George Griscom Jr., a man her family disapproved of. A botched abortion. A persistent theory claimed that she died during an illegal procedure and her body was concealed. Voluntary disappearance. Some believed she chose to start a new life, though no evidence supported this. What you thinking?
I am hopping back and forth between romantic elopement and kidnapping or murder on the way home.
And why her daddy didn't report it faster?
Right. Yeah.
Francis Arnold, yeah, I know, he's bugging me. Francis Arnold publicly dismissed theories of because I was going to continue, but I have to say this, because this is why this bothers me. He thought it would ruin her reputation.
Right. His.
But he didn't have any idea what happened to her. So what's with the ruining of a reputation?
Right. What reputation?
He was afraid she was going to ruin her family's reputation.
Right.
He was afraid of.
That's exactly what.
In my mind.
Like, the point is, if he doesn't know what happened to her, her being kidnapped or murdered what is that going to do to their reputation?
So he thought something fishy was going on.
Right, obviously.
Or he did something fishy. I just keep going back to the dad.
Yeah, that's where my head keeps going to.
Because maybe he really did think that she had run off.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Like,
married.
Some of those other theories would make sense with the way that he's acting. Like, if she ran off with someone they didn't approve of. Or even the abortion thing could also kind of...
Yep.
Unfortunately. But even if that's the case, why would you just not even bother? I don't know.
Right.
If you
I still want to know where my kid is.
If you didn't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like he knows something. And I think I mentioned this later. And we're actually close to the end of this because I didn't go super into things, but it's a missing person. It was so interesting. Francis Arnold publicly dismissed theories of elopement, insisting Dorothy would not have left voluntarily. Their reluctance to cooperate fully with police created tension. Investigators criticized the Arnolds for withholding information that might have been useful. The initial secrecy only fueled the rumors and, of course, slowed the investigation. Dorothy was eventually declared dead in absentia. But here's the thing. They hired the Pinkertons within days.
Right.
Aren't they supposed to be top of the line? I mean, it's the Pinkertons.
Right.
Okay. Her father had checked with her friends before that. So my other question is, how do you think it stayed quiet for so long? Because surely her friends were talking about it. Do you think he paid them for their silence?
That is very possible. Unless it was a just keep your mouth shut or just, expecting that they would actually do so. But if those are friends of hers, that's a pretty risky bet on his part. Like, if he were trying to not get this out, I don't know.
Were they her friends or were they her frenemies?
Right. And that's what I was going to say.
If he did pay them for their silence.
Yeah.
That's a frenemy, because if Craig calls me and he's like, hey, I don't know where Bambi is. Here's
don't tell
$20. Don't tell anybody. I'ma blast it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they were her friends and he went to them, like, is there any proof that he did that? Because that's, like I said, that's risky.
I didn't even just think of that.
Even just one of them.
Correct.
One of them is usually an us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not keeping my mouth shut. Like, you can pay me till the cows come home. My mouth is running wherever it may be. So it's like...
Correct. I just have questions.
Too many questions, yeah. I can't really land on something for this one.
And I wonder at what point he spoke to Gladys.
Yeah.
Did he contact her? Or did she just... Because it said she was an acquaintance from college, right?
Right, yeah.
So maybe whenever a month had passed and he finally let it go public, did she come to him with that information? I don't know.
Yeah, because, it could have been after the fact when he finally let the media run with it and all of that, maybe. Because it doesn't say when she, spoke to anybody, does it?
No, and it only just now occurred to me I wondered when that was.
Yeah, that could very well be. That would make sense. He saw it on the news and was like, oh my God, I just saw her. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was like, let me get a hold of somebody.
These fine garments.
This is what she was wearing. So she may be why we know this, to be fair. So yeah, technically speaking, she would have been the one anyway to have.
But there's no way that no one else saw her in all that finery. Did she just disappear into oblivion?
Stick out. And even in those times in New York, if she had left there, and you said she had went through Central Park.
Going to walk home through Central Park.
Right. Probably shopping bags with her. Somebody saw her.
So she was at...
I realize, especially back then, everybody probably dressed at least as close to that as possible. Right. Like I said, everyone's trying to dress as nice as they can and all of those things, but not everybody's able to. And if they were well off and all that, which obviously they were, then that's not really that big of a deal as far as for their class of people.
Correct. I'm going to, for funsies, map her route from that bookstore because we know it was at 5th and 29th.
Yeah.
And we have her address. To walk that is 1 hour and 2 minutes. And we're going to add stops. And we're going to add Central Park. It's 34 minutes. 2.7 miles, mostly flat.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's what it says. Now,
right.
Maps be mapping.
I don't know. I'm just really not. Now I'm not getting voluntary either.
Oh, dear. So at Central Park, there are lots of trees, lots of coverage.
Oh, yeah.
And the pond right there.
Yep. There are. That's an excellent point. But now I'm also just like the voluntary disappearance. She was going about her day. I don't think that's what was happening. Nor do I like the elopement thing. Was that fella seen or spoken to at all after the fight? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
I feel like he would have been brought up a lot more if he also disappeared at the same time.
Right. And you know what? Silly me. I didn't look to see if he had been looked into. I'm sure he was. You know how I get with these cases. I can't put in all the details.
Yeah.
Because we'd be here for hours.
And then we get here
ad nauseam.
and then we need all of them because we're like, I have
Right.
questions.
Well, it gives people an opportunity to be like, hey, now I want to know that.
Right.
What's that fellow's name? I done forgot.
George Griscom Jr.
Let's find out. What happened to George Griscom Jr. after Dorothy Arnold's disappearance?
George Griscom Jr. was a suspect, but he claimed ignorance and was cleared due to his alibi. However, suspicions remained because of his evasiveness and conflicting accounts, including a fight over her letters, leaving him a shadowy figure in the case.
Oh,
Interesting. What job did George Griscom have when Dorothy Arnold disappeared?
According to old spirituals, his name was George C. Griscom Jr., and he was a wealthy engineer who lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was also 44 years old. Dorothy's family was stunned to learn that she had spent a week with him earlier that year, when she claimed to be visiting some friends from college.
so why would that embarrass her family? He's a wealthy.
They're not married, and she spent a week with him, and maybe she was preggers.
That's the deets.
That was a social no.
All over the desk.
Sure did. And maybe
Now I have more fucking questions.
Right? I mean,
Interesting. See, that reopened so many possibilities for the way I feel things may have went down. It sounded like they said that he was fighting about her letters and things.
yeah. What was in those letters?
What was in those letters, but also would he be fighting to keep them if he knew where she was? You know what I mean? Like, no, you can't have these. It's the only thing I have left. Otherwise, I feel like if he knew where she was or anything, he would just be like, yeah, sure, keep the fucking letters. You know what I mean?
Right. There's something in them letters.
There's something
Where
in
are
letters. I know. Now we have, like, real side quest things.
We really
I
do.
need to know because that's wild.
Have you looked her up already for?
Oh, yeah, I've got the pictures
Can't
already.
see.
I found pictures.
She's lovely.
Yes, she is. I love pictures from that time.
Yeah.
Like, specifically of women, young women, like her age and during that period. Everybody just seemed so freaking cool.
They really do. It inspired the television and radio play The Thin Air by Sumner Locke Elliott.
Oh.
In her young adult novel Lost, 2009, author Jacqueline Davies combines the story of Arnold's disappearance with that of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory Fire. The short horror novel The Lurker at the Threshold, 1945, by August Derleth and H.P. Lovecraft mentions the disappearance of Dorothy Arnold. I know, right? Near the end in the list of disappearances and Fortean phenomena. In 2019, the case was covered by BuzzFeed Unsolved. Fun that H.P. Lovecraft got it.
Right? All right, then.
Occupation listed socialite.
Hell yeah. And that's the thing. We could do that. Yeah, the family...
What's your job? I'm just a socialite.
The family reputation thing makes way more sense now. Because that's kind of where I was, like, confused. Because I was like, your daughter went missing, and you're worried about your reputation from that. For what reason?
Right.
Now, some of those scenarios would have made sense as far as the reputation. But now, some of them make far more sense. So...
Maybe the dad hired somebody to take her out. Oh my gosh, now I need to know where her dad was the day she disappeared.
I want to know where everybody was in the situation.
What had Dorothy Arnold's father been doing on the day she disappeared before he knew she disappeared?
On the day Dorothy Arnold disappeared, her father, Francis Arnold, was at his office. He didn't know she was gone, later claiming she was sick, which was a lie. He only realized she was missing days later, starting a private search before going to the police.
I'm sorry. What?
He was at his office as usual, unaware of her vanishing act. He later claimed she was homesick, but this was a lie to avoid scandal, as she'd secretly met a man, George Griswold, to ask for money for a studio, and he only realized she was missing days later prompting a private search before involving police in January of 1911. She left home telling her mother she was going to meet a friend, but instead went to her father's office to ask for money for a Greenwich Village studio apartment, which he refused. Her father, Francis, wanting to avoid public shame, told his wife Dorothy was home with a fever, a story that later proved false, as she never returned home that day. Several days later, Francis realized Dorothy was truly gone and hired private investigators, the Pinkertons, to find her, a search that lasted 6 weeks. He initially resisted involving the police to prevent a scandal, as Dorothy was a wealthy heiress known for her literary aspirations, but eventually filed a report in 1911.
What?
Daddy had her killed.
Yeah, he did.
Daddy offed her.
Yeah, he did. Wow. Well, I'm not suspicious of the dude now. Wow.
Anywho.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. I'm over that one.
I'm mad at it.
I'm so mad. I got nothing.
I just think the dad had something to do with it.
Oh, 100%.
Or the man
opinion
found out she was pregnant and he had her offed. Oh no.
I don't.
When we build a time machine, do you want to go back and solve this mystery?
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to follow her from the store. One of us can follow her. One of us can follow Daddy.
Correct. And then if that doesn't work, we can rewind and come back to the same spot.
Right.
One of us follows her. One of us finds boyfriend. Where was he? Where was he? Where was the boyfriend?
It said he had an alibi, but that doesn't mean shit either.
Oh, yeah, he was in Italy.
Oh, well,
But was he?
That's a pretty good alibi. I'm still not feeling him for it. If he was really being weird about the letters and didn't want them to have them, and if she was expecting, I don't know. And she also came for money for an apartment, which, again...
Well, a studio.
Right.
But, she was trying to have a writing career, and was that just...
Yeah.
Did she want to live there, or did she want to have an office there?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know, baby.
I gotta get working on that damn time machine.
Please do.
Teleportation device. That's unfortunate. I suppose that's all we got. We're gonna leave you with a roller coaster and questions, because we've had a roller coaster.
Not a roller coaster, a sleigh ride.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. On a really, really wavy hill. Yeah. Yeah, this was a doozy. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's it. Well, we hope that you enjoyed our dark journey today, and as always, we appreciate you coming along. Hope you reserve your seat for the next episode, as it is a doozy. It will be filled with the darkest of Christmas joy and the last episode of the season and the year. And until then, if you have your own macabre musings, tales, questions, or dark lore you're dying to hear, find us on Facebook or drop us a line at Macabre.Musings.Podcast@gmail.com.
Pull up a chair next time as we dive into more dark, creepy lore and maybe tumble down a rabbit hole or two. Until then, dim the lamp, hang one more bauble, and let your curiosity brighten the night.
And not yet. I wanted to shout out to my partner in life and crime, Craig, for the new December music. I think he took every very, very vague idea of what I wanted and ran in the exact direction that I was looking for. And for that, I am thankful. Y'all can enjoy the remainder of that intro after I shut up. So on that note, we will see y'all later.